These have been brought forward together. We have a mover, Chief Sheldon Kent, and I just want to get confirmation that Chief Kent is in the room. You will be the mover. Microphone 1, please. Microphone number 1, please. Encore, microphone 1.
I'm Derek Nepinak, Chief of the Minigos Anishinaabe, a Treaty 4 and 2 community. I've been asked by Chief Kent to stand in his place this afternoon on this resolution.
Thank you, Chief Nepinak. Seconder for the basket resolution is Chief Brent Niganabi. Chief Niganabi, are you here to be the seconder of the basket? Otherwise, I see, are you willing to second? Okay, microphone number 2, please.
I'm Andre Bear, and I'm proxy for Little Black Bears Band, and I'll second the motion.
Great, thank you. So we have a seconder for the basket resolution. So we have, again, a number of resolutions. So what we will do is I'll read the operative clauses of all of the resolutions. Again, we're dealing with them together. We have one mover and seconder for the basket. So the first resolution, I just want to clarify before we move on, it's up on the screen, and this was originally draft resolution number 6, subject health, non-insured health benefits, 2SL GBTQIA+. And actually there is a change being put on the screen, but that is not the change. Chief Derek Nepinak is moving the basket resolution. So if I can have Encore scroll down to therefore be it resolved, it reads, therefore be it resolved that the First Nations and Assembly 1, call upon the Assembly of First Nations AFN to support and advocate for the rights of First Nation Two-Spirit, transgender, non-binary, and gender non-conforming individuals to access comprehensive, affirming, and evidence-based gender-affirming care. 2, call on Indigenous Services Canada ISC First Nations Inuit Health Branch FNIHB to remove the prescription requirement to access gender-affirming products, gear, and supplies through the non-insured health benefit NIHB. 3, call on ISC, the FNIHB, to work with the AFN to develop regional access to gender-affirming care toolkits, outlining points of access, i.e. providers, relevant supports, and NIHB coverage specifics, i.e. supplies, mental health, pharmacy, etc. Number 4, call upon the AFN to seek the resources to support educational initiatives that equip both healthcare providers and ISC, FNIHB staff with the knowledge and skills necessary to provide culturally safe, comprehensive, affirming, and evidence-based gender-affirming care. So that is the first resolution. The second one would be draft resolution number 7. We will go to therefore be it resolved. So if I can have Encore continue on to draft resolution number 7 and down to therefore be it resolved. Everyone? So it reads, it's on the screen now, therefore be it resolved that the First Nations and Assembly 1 direct the Assembly of First Nations AFN to advocate for the permanency and expansion of Indigenous Service Canada's ISC First Nations and Inuit Health Branch FNIHB non-insured health benefits NIHB traditional healer funding. Number 2, direct the AFN to collaborate with ISC, FNIHB, and its NIHB Joint Review Committee, along with the AFN Knowledge Keepers Council, to complete a national review and reform of the NIHB's medical transportation policy and the traditional healing program to overhaul current policies that perpetuate cultural harm and restrict access to First Nations traditional healing in a culturally safe manner, and assert the rights of First Nations to determine their own traditional healers and traditional healing practices according to their own distinct and unique First Nations culture. The next one would be draft resolution number 8. If I can get Encore to go to draft resolution number 8, down to therefore be it resolved that the First Nations and Assembly, it looks like it's on the screen, direct the Assembly of First Nations, AFN, to call upon Indigenous Services Canada, ISC, to immediately undertake reform of the non-insured health benefits NIHB program, working in collaboration with First Nations governments with the goal of being culturally safe, equitable, and responsive to the unique needs of First Nations citizens, particularly in the remote, isolated, and northern regions. Number 2, direct the AFN to urge the federal government to implement a centralized, streamlined, and transparent NIHB system that reduces administrative burden, eliminates delays and denials, and ensures timely access to medically necessary health services, medications, and medical supplies and equipment. 3, direct the AFN to advocate for increased sustainable funding and modernize NIHB policies, i.e. updated reimbursement and travel policies to reflect the real costs and current market realities incurred specifically by the remote, isolated, and northern regions. 4, direct the AFN to urge the federal government to co-develop a First Nations-led NIHB governance model grounded by the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, UN Declaration, Joyce's Principle, and the Truth and Reconciliation's calls to action to ensure full partnership and decision-making authority and to uphold Indigenous rights to equitable and accessible health care. The next one would be draft resolution number 9. Therefore be it resolved that the First Nations and Assembly, 1, call on the Government of Canada to publicly and fully commit to supporting First Nations' inherent right to traditional health practices, including the right of Sturgeon Lake First Nation, Saskatchewan, to exercise jurisdiction through the Pakatahao Saganik Nitao Hiawasun Miko Wisini specifically. And number 2, direct the Assembly of First Nations AFN to advocate for First Nations' inherent right to traditional health practices and to support the First Nations in exercising this right. 3, call upon the Government of Canada and each province and territory to acknowledge and take action to address the historical impact of healthcare system on Indigenous women and children in Canada. 4, call on the Government of Canada to fairly and equitably fund First Nations that assert their inherent right over traditional health practices, both for capital and operations. The next one would be draft resolution number 11. Just want to make sure, and it reads, therefore be it resolved. Number 1, direct the Assembly of First Nations, AFN, to formally oppose the inclusion, collection, and use of First Nations genomic data with the current structure and implementation of the Canadian Precision Health Initiative, CPHI, including the Pan-Canadian Genome Library, where it has proceeded without meaningful consultation or consent with First Nations and lack of adherence to OCAP principles and the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, UN Declaration. Number 2, direct the AFN to collaborate with the First Nations Information Governance Centre to identify and assess existing Indigenous-controlled genomic data libraries or governance frameworks that upholds First Nations data sovereignty, reflect OCAP principles, and aligns with First Nations cultural values and protocols. Number 3, call upon the Government of Canada to immediately pause the collection and use of First Nations genomic data within the CPHI and related projects until meaningful consultation with First Nations is conducted and a formal mechanism for First Nations governance, consent, and accountability are established. This resolution does not preclude First Nations from choosing to partner with such initiatives on their own terms. And number 4, urge all federal agencies and partners involved in genomic data initiatives to recognize and respect First Nations' inherent rights to their genomic data as affirmed by UN Declaration, and to support the development and implementation of Indigenous-led data governance structures, both nationally and globally. Draft resolution number 12. Therefore be resolved. Number 1, support the development and implementation of First Nations-led organ and transplant program designed and governed by First Nations in accordance with their laws, customs, and knowledge systems. 2, call on Health Canada, provincial, territorial governments, and related health authorities to engage in formal partnerships and funding agreements with First Nations leadership and organizations to support the development and sustainability of such a program. Number 3, direct the Assembly of First Nations, AFN, to collaborate with First Nations technical experts and knowledge holders to advance national dialogue, policy development, data sovereignty initiatives, and advocacy related to organ donation and transplantation. Number 4, urge the inclusion of culturally safe, trauma-informed care and traditional perspectives in all aspects of organ and transplant services involving First Nations individuals and communities. Number 5, support efforts to raise awareness and increase informed consent and participation in organ donation and transplantation through community-based education and culturally relevant public health initiatives. Number 6, affirm the inherent right of First Nations to design, deliver, and control health services, and call for the immediate mobilization of resources and political will to achieve equity, dignity, and self-determination in the field of organ and transplant health services. The final one, I believe, I just want to get confirmation, would be number 29. So draft resolution 29. If I can have that up on the screen, I believe we're ready. Therefore be it resolved that the First Nations and Assembly, number 1, direct the Assembly of First Nations, AFN, to advocate that Employment Social Development Canada, ESDC, and other federal departments cease any actions that recolonize First Nations in the context of co-developing distinct First Nations accessibility legislation, DFNAL, and affirm that co-development must not replace or diminish First Nations' inherent jurisdiction and right to self-determination in advancing DFNAL. Number 2, call on ESDC to engage directly with AFN on matters related to the Accessible Canada Act, ACA, and the Accessor Training Project as a national advocacy organization working with First Nations rather than proceeding with third-party contractors. Number 3, direct the AFN to seek funding to secure resources from ESDC and Justice Canada to support the development of a draft framework on the revitalization of First Nations legal traditions that enables collaboration with the federal government and a whole-of-government approach to advancing First Nations self-determined approaches where co-development may not be the appropriate mechanism or approach to advancing First Nations rights and sovereignty. So that's from draft resolution number 29. I just want to get confirmation. I believe that's all of them in this basket. Yes. So that is the basket resolution. I'll turn to the mover, Chief Nepinak. Microphone 1, please.
Miigwech, it's a very complex and complicated conversation, a lot of nuances, a lot of efforts and initiatives put forward by a lot of our good people working in the area of health to get this package put together. I don't have anything to add to the content other than to ask for the support of the Assembly in advancing the resolutions. Miigwech.
Miigwech, Chief Nepinak. Microphone 2.
I also have no additions. I want to acknowledge former Regional Chief Kevin Hart, who has led the work on the transplant resolution, and also Knightley Cardinal, who's undergoing a transplant with his sister Brady Cardinal from Alexander First Nation, currently in Edmonton. So I asked the chiefs to support this basket, and I want to thank everyone who's doing great work in health. So thank you.
Miigwech. So the basket resolution is before you. Mover and seconder, thank you. The floor is open. I do see someone at microphone number 2. Go ahead.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, and thank you. I just wanted to share a friendly amendment if the mover and seconder would agree to it. It's dealing with the NHIB, the non-insured health benefits. One area of importance is the misdiagnosis of folks that have allergies, First Nations that have allergies, and they end up going in the emergency. So the wording is just this: go to the NIB phrase and just add additional.
Apologies, Chief. We're dealing with many resolutions. Do you know which draft resolution it would be?
The second one that you said. I'm
The-
sorry, I didn't get a booklet.
Okay, so it is the second one, which I believe is
Number 7?
number 7. Thank you. Encore, if we can put up number 7, please. Apologies, Chief. I just want to make sure we've got the right one. So we'll put it up on the screen. And your proposed wording is?
Where the NHIB, the non-insured health benefits, just a line underneath it, including folks with allergies.
Hi.
And I'm a proxy for McLeod Lake Indian Band, Leone Rivers.
Miigwech, proxy. So we have it up on the screen there. Is that the English version?
Yeah,
Yes, okay.
including individuals, sorry, I shouldn't say folks, but including individuals with allergies who get misdiagnosed in emergencies. Thank you.
Okay, so for the record, it's up on the screen on the English version to my right, and it now reads, it's highlighted in green, including individuals with allergies who get misdiagnosed in emergencies. That's what you're looking for? Proxy, I believe that's what we're looking for. Yes, okay, thank you. Mover is good. Seconder, I lost the seconder. I know you're here. Oh, thank you. Microphone 2.
Hi, this is regarding resolution number 11.
Encore, can I have resolution number 11 brought forward, please? Go ahead, microphone 2.
Okay. My name is Carol Leslie Green, proxy for Six Nations up the Grand River, and I am in support of this. But I'd like to make a request, a friendly amendment to number 4. It's not up there yet.
Encore, if I can have draft resolution number 11 up on the screen, please. I think this is the one, I'm not sure. No, down to number 4, paragraph 4. Thank you.
No.
No, that's not the one?
What one?
So it might be paragraph 3. Scroll up. Sorry, proxy, so it is draft resolution 11 you're referring to?
Yes. But, okay, well, I'm going to read this anyway, okay? Therefore, be it resolved. It looks like it was changed because it did say, and to support the development and implementation of First Nations-led data governance. It's in there. You had Indigenous, so it is First Nations.
Encore, down to paragraph 4, please.
First Nations, there you go.
So the wording that you are proposing, I'm sorry, can you read it again? Oh, we do have it, I'm sorry. It's up on the screen.
Yes. That's
So the change would be to scratch Indigenous and just change that to First Nations.
Right.
First Nations led. Okay.
right. Thank you.
Miigwech, thank you. Microphone, oh, sorry, before, online, I'm going to go online. We're following the order. Chief Long John, Chief Christine Long John, Encore, if I can have Chief Long John unmuted, please, and up on the screen. There you are. Go ahead, Chief.
Good morning, Chair, Chiefs, veterans, elders, leaders. I greet you as the leader of my people, Sturgeon Lake First Nation, also known as Woodhouse. I come to you with a heavy heart and send my condolences to the family of Elder Rose Daniels, a pillar of our nation. As our First Nations women, we have sacred relationship to Creator in our sacred lands. Sturgeon Lake First Nation is Nehiyawak's unceded, unsurrendered, ancestral and traditional territories of Treaty 6 in Saskatchewan. We have always maintained that good child rearing practices start from conception to all stages of life. Sturgeon Lake First Nation has made it very clear from the beginning that we have always had our own laws in birthing and good child rearing, and that these practices were interrupted through colonial policies such as the Indian residential schools, 60 Scoop, the child welfare system, and the blatant system, racism and discrimination that plagues our current healthcare system. Indigenous midwifery embodies cultural traditions and values, ensuring that the care of our women receive is grounded and recognized by our own people and honors Indigenous knowledge and practices. We envision bringing back Nihil, Hasuwen, birthing, and Mio Opigihawasu child rearing as the basis of reawakening good child rearing practices to our nation. We see teachings in traditional birthing and good child upbringing for the benefit of women who are the life givers as bestowed by our Creator. We call on the chiefs and assembly to support traditional birthing practices and traditional health. We also call on Canada to provide sustainable operational funding for the birthing lodges. Thank you. I support all of the other resolutions. Thank you.
Miigwech, Chief, thank you for that. Back to microphone number 2.
Yes, Chief Marcel Head, Sholok Nation. I just got a question with the process of basking all the resolution. Like, is this where we get caught? Like 7 or 8 resolutions combined together, and there's one resolution that I'm particularly not in favor of. And so the question is, what do we do in the event if we don't agree with one of the other resolutions? And that's my question. Just one clarification.
Thank you, Chief. I just wanted to clarify. So the question is, what happens in a basket resolution that you're opposed to one, for example? So when we call for a vote, you're voting on all of them. So it's a yes to all of them, or it's a no to all of them. That's the reality of a basket resolution when they're brought together like that. Now, if certain resolutions are pulled from the basket, they can be dealt with separately. So that would be the call of the mover and the seconder of the basket resolution, who we have here. Microphone 2, please.
Yes, then I would suggest, to pull one, like the first resolution is the one that I'm not in support in, and that's the transgender resolution. Just ethically, I'm not in favor of that resolution. But all the rest of the other resolution, if the mover and the seconder just pull respectively this one resolution. Thank you.
Thank you. So on the floor, there is a request to pull draft resolution number 6 from the basket of resolutions. So what I will do is I'll ask the mover and the seconder if they concur or agree with the request to remove draft resolution 6 or to leave it in. Mover. Microphone number 1, please.
Miigwech. Standing in for Chief Kent as my colleague here in Manitoba, recognizing the work that's been done to get these resolutions together, all for good purpose and good reason, although we may not always agree, and I do wholeheartedly believe in a consensus-based approach. I believe the discretion that I hold as the mover is not appropriate to exercise in this context, being that I am doing a favor for Chief Kent, and I'm not going to agree to remove the resolution at this time. I apologize. I want to respect the chief who raised the issue, but I won't remove it.
Miigwech. Seconder, microphone number 2.
I also respect the chiefs and their own beliefs, but I also think we need to truly recognize and respect people that come from two-spirit or gender diverse backgrounds. And I would ask the chiefs to also keep the resolution in the same basket. Thank you.
Thank you. Miigwech. So I see no further chiefs at the microphones, nobody online. So with that, I'm going to call for question, unless the chief, are you approaching the microphone? No, okay. So with that, call for question and open the polls. Encore, if you can please open the polls. Chiefs and proxies, proxy representatives. Once the polls are open, you should get an email, and they are now open. So you'll get an email, again, same process. It's starting to get quicker. There is a link. Click on the link. Use the same 6-digit PIN, your personal identification number, and go to the site, log in. It's only open to your email address that you provided when you registered. So we'll give it a few minutes here. So again, the polls are open. Any technical issues here in the room, raise your hand. Let us know. It doesn't look like it. Looks like we've ironed out those kinks. And looking online, the numbers are still coming in. For those that are joining virtually as well as here in the room. So we're almost complete. This will be the, looking at the time, it is 1:58. This will be the final resolution, and then we will turn it over to closing protocols as well as closing remarks from National Chief Cindy Woodhouse Nepinak. So again, just allowing a few, I'll give it about 20 more seconds for the polls. So 3 more seconds. Last chance. So Encore, if you can please close the polls. Thank you. So polls are now closed. They are being closed. And the results of the basket resolution dealing with health. I have the results here. If I can have them please up on the screen. Those in favor, 113. Those opposed, 5. Those abstaining, 5. So the resolution is carried. Miigwech. Thank you. With that, I will be turning it over to my colleague Cedric, who is down, I know, finalizing some of the details. Some quick housekeeping. We will be wrapping up. I know there's a couple of announcements. We had some prizes, early bird prizes, I believe. Cedric has that information and can finish up. So with that, miigwech, that concludes it for me. Thank you. Been 3 days of great discussion, deliberation. Farewell for now. Miigwech.
So again, thank you everyone for your participation. Thank you to all of our councils, to our knowledge keepers, our veterans, our elders that were here to help support us, and again to you chiefs and proxy representatives. There was a lot of information, a lot of stuff, but again, we got through it, and we had some good discussion. We had some serious discussions, and I think, again, for the right and the good of our people. As mentioned, there was early bird prizes, so we just want to say that the 2 winners are Chief Darcy Paul from Skogale First Nation in BC, and Waverly Godet from Gumaluk, Magludugan in Nova Scotia. So we do have our 2 winners. We'll see with AFN to reach out, just in case you're not here. If you are in the room, you can go to registration to pick up your prize. So again, Mset Nogama, all my relations to you. Thank you for the respectful conversations we had. Thank you for the work that you do. I like saying y'all are rock stars, and we will be seeing you at our next assembly. And for now, I will be turning it over to National Chief.
Thank you all for being here this week. And really, I truly mean that, because I know that we rescheduled this to this time, and I know that it's a busy time, the first week of September, and I just want to wish all of our children and our grandchildren well as they begin school once again. To this beautiful place, Treaty 1 territory, and I want to acknowledge that we are gathered here on the ancestral, on the Treaty 1, Treaty 1 territory. And we acknowledge and hold up, of course, the drum that will be here, and the elders for opening up this assembly and being here, and the veterans in a good way, and the Eagle staffs, and all the ceremonial items. We want to again thank Treaty 1 chiefs for welcoming us to their lands. And we lift up Grand Chief Wilson, Regional Chief Will Moore, and Garrison Sethi, and of course our AO Grand Chief Alex McDougall, and Southern Chiefs Organization Jerry Daniels. I want to thank them for their assistance in planning this week's event and for their ongoing leadership. We are so glad that we are finally able to bring back this assembly back here to Manitoba. It's been 11 years, a very long time. And in my opening remarks, we talked about the perseverance of Manitoba chiefs that I've grown up with all of my life. And sadly, we are drawing on the resilience again this week with yesterday's tragedy in Hollow Water. When I received the news yesterday, we held our breath and we prayed for the community. And a couple of the councillors and the chief were here, and it was very emotional yesterday. So on behalf of the Assembly of First Nations and all of us that are here to Hollow Water, we offer our prayers and our condolences to the people of Hollow Water First Nations, Chief Barker and his loved ones. 2 individuals have lost their lives, and 6 individuals are in the hospital due to the senseless act, and I'm going to go straight there after this. And we are praying for the healing and hope to, and we want to hope for healing for all of those people affected. So I just want to ask for a quick moment of silence for the community of Hollow Water that just a few years ago on the exact same day that this same senseless act happened in a Saskatchewan community in James Smith. And I hope that those 2 communities can connect and be together. But in this moment, I ask for all of us to pray for both of those communities. Thank you. Thank you. You know, this tragedy, it's a sad reminder of the urgent need for action to ensure that safety and security for our First Nations and for our First Nations citizens. Our work this week has been made more intense by the many social, the economic, and the cultural challenges that are facing our people, including many chiefs and councillors across this country. We see that time and time again. We talk about many of these issues over the past few days, and I thank you for that. As your National Chief, I'm so thankful and I'm inspired by the diversity in the views and the rich ideas coming from our chiefs. And our diversity of perspective, it's a strength within us to be celebrated. It shouldn't be a wedge to divide. It's okay if we debate in this assembly. We have seen this again this week on the important debates on Bill C-5. This week's assembly is the first time chiefs had the chance to gather for the first time and discuss the Building Canada Act, since it was rushed through Parliament just over 20 days over June, really, really fast. So when it was first introduced, we wanted the new government to know about the limited time provided to review that bill. We made it clear to them that many chiefs and leadership were already wondering if the Crown First Nations relationship is in danger of moving backwards. We had seen the response in British Columbia and Ontario on fast-tracking those provincial bills. And sadly, they did not listen. Despite their promises, we know that until an appropriate process is established with First Nations rights holders and founded in free, prior, and informed consent, the Crown's legal obligation cannot be met. So this week, Chiefs in Assembly again confirmed that they do not have confidence in the federal government's commitment to honor their promises made to you. The federal government had asked them to just trust them. And this week, First Nations have said no, not again. Trust has been broken, and Canada is going to have to earn it back through deeds more than words. Chiefs made it clear that the government can create all the project offices and advisory groups that they want, but there is no getting around the rights holders, the First Nations people of this territory. The truth remains that there's $560 billion of projects that are forecast to be launched on First Nations lands over the next decade. Many are on a secret list of major projects being reported in the press today, and the whole executive, we were talking about it this morning. And these opportunities represent a cornerstone of Canada's future economic growth, but they won't advance without First Nations support. This week, Chiefs also made it clear that more space is needed to talk about economic development, so we will make that happen in a very focused way. This week, we also heard again that the passion of our leadership for the health and well-being of First Nations children, the message for the federal government is very loud and clear. Get back to the table and protect the $47.8 billion that we negotiated last year for long-term reform of Canada's racist child welfare system. Because those funds are for First Nations children and families. They are not meant to be redistributed as part of Canada's, any budget-cutting exercises that Canada wants to do. Chiefs voted strongly for First Nations-led solutions to the state of emergency facing our communities in relation to the fentanyl, opioid, the drug addiction, the bootlegging, and the alcohol crisis devastating our families. So we will update our federal budget submission this week accordingly, and we'll be taking this forward next week. We have also urgently called on Canada to invest $700 million in the next budget to address this crisis. And we also hear an urgency from chiefs to renew our efforts in previously approved resolutions on clean water legislation, on closing the discriminatory infrastructure gap, on federal procurement, on returning artifacts, on the justice strategy, and essential service legislation for First Nations policing will be the top priority for Parliament this fall, and we will make sure that those are echoed. We lift up all chiefs for their leadership and in trying to keep their communities safe, including chiefs in Northern Ontario and the recent incidents of police violence there. These mandates will guide our efforts in advancing of the upcoming federal budget. For the new government, this budget will be their first chance to address mistrust created by Bill C-5 and honor the promises made in the campaign regarding the priorities that we have been discussing here this week. Priorities that the Prime Minister says he agrees with. At the July summit, when asked about reports of federal cuts to First Nations budgets, he reassured chiefs in that room that he understands that more needs to be done and not less. So I want to invite all chiefs to join us in Ottawa this fall. Let's make our voices heard on Parliament Hill. We are ready to help you and to make sure that those doors are open for you and your community. Because First Nations voices must be heard on these important pieces of legislation that affect our rights and the future prosperity of this country. And never again should rights holders be shut out of Parliament like what happened for Bill C-5. First Nations have experienced through hard experience that if we don't mobilize to protect our rights, no one else is going to do it for us, no one else will. We have fought hard in Parliament, we have fought hard in the courts, and we have fought hard on this land to protect our rights as peoples and as nations, and nothing has been given to us, and we are not going back. And so through it all, we will be there with you together, just as our elders and our ancestors wanted us. There is so much to do, but by strengthening our relations united, we can achieve anything that we want. So I stand with you, and I'll be there in Ottawa and making sure that those doors are open for your nation. And I'll be there to continue to do that work. So Chimigwech, thank you so much. See you December 2, 3, and 4 in Ottawa. And then, of course, our Ottawa did win the bid for the next July Assembly, July 14th, 15th, 16th in Ottawa again. And then, as usual, our next December in 2026 is also Ottawa. So the next 3 will be in Ottawa, and we'll be there working for you and hard for you. So thank you. And I want to lift up all of the staff. If you could just stand up, we lift you up. Thank you. I know we're all tough on you, but you all do so good work to bring us all together. Yeah. And of course, our chairs, you get heck from everybody, and we love you though. Yeah, so thank you so very much. Yeah. And just all of you for being here, and I look forward to seeing you at Christmas time, and we'll make sure then that we invite the Prime Minister and Cabinet. I did invite them this time because I thought that our people needed our time to speak, and we'll make sure that to have that time to speak after Bill 5 and such. I know they're tough discussions, but I'm so proud of all of you. So thank you so very much. Good.
Miigwech National Chief, thank you to the chiefs for being here in this assembly. I really enjoyed being here with you during the last 3 days. National Chief started by thanking the staff, AFN staff, but I also want to acknowledge and thank the accessibility team that was there, as well as the translators, the technicians. Thank you for making this assembly more accessible to everyone. So maybe we can give them a big round of applause. For the closing prayer, I will invite our elder Percy Joe, who is the BC veteran representative. I don't know if he's close. Just over here, perfect. So we will have the closing prayer, and then the drum group will come for the last two songs of the day and close the assembly.
And as an gesaid can, ja, bentlo. We as quite shoot who wished that I swat good honey. That they was not had because squishy to so kitchulas that shade can work. Yes, as well. Just said a few words of having safe travels here and that you get back to your families safely, and wishing you all the luck of remembering the services and the negotiations we've had here. As the saying goes in the Army, that we're only as strong as the weakest link. So I think it's very important that we all work together across the nation. We've had veterans create this organization, and we as the veterans nowadays are standing on their shoulders to make sure we carry on with the safety of our people. We've gone and served overseas and fought in wars and that as veterans, just because this is our country we're protecting. It's not and our people. That's what we're looking at as veterans. That's why a majority of us do save the word. And I'd just like to recognize a veteran that has passed away that is from this territory. His name was Wilfred Weteste, and he made a comment that I'd like to end off with. While he was going through France, a French person asked him why was he there fighting for them when he didn't need to be able to, shouldn't be joined in the army or is not forced to join it. And his comment was, I'm here to give you freedom I don't have at home. And I loved that comment, and I asked him if I could use that, and he gave me the permission. And I've been asking some of the people from Manitoba here how many people remember Wilfred Weteste, because he was one of the people that I was, when I started with the, been involved in the veterans issues some 26 years ago. So I've just, it's a great pleasure for me to be able to say a few words here while I'm in Manitoba. I've served with people that are from Manitoba that I haven't been able to, track them down or anything. But anyway, wishing you all a safe travels home, and we'll be meeting again in December. I'm at Cookstape.
Thank you, Elder Percy Joe. So we are now at the closing songs. I will invite Ray Cuckoo Stevenson for the last two songs. So he will do first the flag song and then the traveling and closing song. Tiawang Inay for this assembly.
Oh,
The assembly is now officially adjourned.
So official, these guys.